Alright guys, so yeah, obviously I can't catch a break, so I've got to run to town. Luckily it is only 5:35 because I do have to work tomorrow. It is Thursday, but this is still, I can feel the heat radiating from it, and my hand is about maybe 2.5 inches away from that rotor, but at least I can put my hand on it now. That still hurts, but it's, I'm not going to cry like a little baby. But this piston is gone. Or not the piston. The pistons inside the caliper are gone. They're shot. It's stuck. Which is really irritating. I got to take this off. I believe that's a size 13 or 15, I believe. But I got to take that off and like hang that up there somehow where it won't leak all of my brake fluid out. But yeah, I had to go pay my water bill, and those need to be turned so bad. But I just no one around here knows how to do that anymore. It's a dying art. But yeah. So I went to town after work, or whatever, I got off work and I went to town and paid the water bill. And when I had a phone call, my supervisor called me. No, I wasn't in trouble, but I pulled over on the side of the road just to, so I'm not driving down the road talking on the phone. So I pulled off on the side. Plus, I'm in a rural area, so you don't really get much good signal anyway. Well, the call dropped because I was in really a poor cellular service area. And then as soon as I got back on the road, it started, I thought I had a flat. The thing started vibrating really bad. And then my ABS light came on. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. What in the world's going on? I get home, I'm walking around the truck trying to figure out what in the world's going on. My wife comes out because usually I go straight inside when I pull in. And she's standing next to this, like I'm over there on the backside just looking at each tire. And she's standing right here and she's like, there's a lot of heat coming from your tire. And so I stick my hand down there and it just felt like a heater. Like a very powerful heater going on there. And so come to find out, the reason the ABS light's on is because this wheel was not spinning at the same speed as that one over there. So you've got an ABS sensor on the back side here, same over there, and then you have one that sits on your differential or your axle or whatever you want to call it, the pumpkin. It sits on top of that, and it measures the rotation of your front tires as well as the rotation of the you have a, oh god, I can't remember all the components, but you have like a ring and some gears, and it has a specific name. I think it's like a speed ring or something like that. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but tone ring, I think that's the name of it, tone ring. But it measures the rotation of your differential while you're going in motion, and if all three of those are off, then you will throw a ABS code. So that's why my ABS code is on for this truck, because this is not rotating at the same speed, and I'm really hoping that that is not a crack in this it's right there. That looks like a hairline crack. Let's see if I can back up. That right there, that looks like a hairline crack. So it looks like I'm going to have to be getting me a rotor here shortly. I think that is a crack. Yep. Darn it. So I don't even need to worry about getting these rotors turned. I need to get a replacement set of rotors. That really sucks, but I mean, it's not a superficial crack, so I should be okay for now. But or it could just be a scratch, but yeah, I got to pull this off here, get into town, get this replaced. So it'll probably be 8 o'clock by the time I'm finishing this up, as always. But I will be back and we will finish this up. Alright guys, so I got it off. So I had to look at the picture because I'm going up there to buy basically not just the caliper but the bracket as well. So, you know, I had to pull the bracket off, which these right here are 21 millimeter. I have a ratcheting breaker bar. So what I ended up doing is putting it on here. You know, I got leverage for days. I can't remember what the length of that is. I think it's 31 millimeter or something like that. But yeah, I pushed down, broke it loose, and then I put my flex head 1/2 inch on my impact here, and I was able to zip the bottom off, but the top one I had to do by hand. No, I did not. Hold on. Yeah. But anyway, I had to do it by hand until I went and got that flex head, because straight I can get right on this bottom one, but without any flex I'm hitting up against that shock right there. So whew, I got that off of there. Like I said, 21 millimeter for the bracket bolts. Then you've got this little guy right here, which is what is for your supply line, which I've got it tucked away up here. You are going to have 2 washers, one on the front side of the banjo bolt. That's actually a banjo bolt. I don't know why I kept saying bolt, but that's a banjo bolt. And one of those copper washers fits on one side and one fits on the other side, and you can see there are ridges on both sides. I'm sorry guys, lighting is shitty right now, but the banjo bolt goes through there. Copper washer goes on one side and the other, or on either side, and just make sure the ridges are lined up. This was a 14 millimeter. And then for the actual brake caliper to get it off, that was 17 millimeter. There's my gear wrench right there, or ratcheting wrench, which is a 17. Pick this up and show you guys. Like I said, lighting is just not that great right now. Actually, you know what? There we go. Let me use that noggin of mine. I get picked on at work all the time because, you know, everyone knows how smart I am, but sometimes I make dumb decisions. But yeah, 17 millimeter Husky ratcheting wrench, that takes off your where you're sliding your floating pins. I call them floating pins, by the way. If you have uneven brake wear, which I do not, these brakes are actually still pretty good, so I'm going to run them. But if you've got uneven brake wear, usually your sliding pins or your floating pins need to be greased. So just pull those out, grease them, put them back in, and I'll show you guys when I come back what those are, for those that have never done this before. But actually I don't need that right now. I can turn this off. But yeah, I mean, my wheel bearings are actually in really good condition. It's just that, like I said, I thought I saw a hairline fracture on here. I think that's possibly it. I don't know. Maybe this is it. I'm not seeing anything, but like I said, these rotors are horrible. The back sides are fine. It's this up here that's got all this wear on it. But yeah, I was actually going to pull. I was going to pull the caliper, because I've actually got a 10-year warranty Detroit axle caliper on the front of that F350 over there. That's an 02. But they changed the design of the caliper slightly, so I couldn't use it. So I'm going into town to buy a brand new caliper. But it's got a lifetime warranty on it, so I mean, That one's got a 10-year warranty through Detroit Axle. I'm getting one best value, best break, whatever. It's through O'Reilly. I mean, depending on where you are, you may prefer AutoZone over O'Reilly. Here, I prefer O'Reilly over AutoZone. So, yeah, and it's costing me $113 before tax plus $50 core charge. Well, that's why I pulled this one off, because I'm taking it there, picking it up, and then we'll go from there. But I will be right back, guys. Alright, guys, back in 7:19, so it'll be about 8 o'clock when I'm done with this. I'm going to throw this on here and take it for a quick spin, make sure it's not binding up, making sure it's turning freely, all that jazz. But yeah, this is a remanufactured one. It's got a lifetime warranty. It was $186 with the core. I returned the core. It went down to, like, I think after tax it was $150 or whatever. I used an employee discount, which I did not even know I had. But it dropped it all the way down to like $70. So $70, $80. That was awesome. So let me go ahead and throw this on. I will come back and show you guys some, me putting it on here. But let me get it set up at least, and then put these big bolts through. That way I don't have to hold on to it. So I'll be right back. All right, guys. So I got these bolted down, and this is pretty cool. So this is remanufactured. It is an actual Ford one. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so what I'm about to do is take this out here. And as you can see, this also has two copper washers. Try not to let those hit the ground. You don't want to try and be having to dig those or knock the dirt off of it. And this rotor has finally cooled off to where I can just touch it, and doesn't feel like it's going to burn your hand off. But we're going to put, so this is also a banjo bolt, brand new. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one, let's do it like this. So let's put one here. I'm actually kind of excited because usually, now this was years ago, but when I've paid for a new caliper, you actually did not get, like, you just got the caliper. You didn't get the bracket. I don't know when they changed that. I know they've been doing it for a long time, but I mean, when I was younger, which was almost 20 years ago, they didn't have new copper washers. You actually had to hold on to your old ones. That's actually why I did that. But I don't need to hold on to that. I can just go bye-bye. But we're going to go ahead and pull this down. This is going to leak everywhere. This is going to go on here just like this. It's actually, as you can see, that design fits there perfectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this side on, like so, as I still continue to lose brake fluid. So you got your copper washer on the back side, and then I'm going to attempt to put this back on. There we go. Just as long as it doesn't fall. I don't want it to fall. I have a strong feeling that it's going to fall, and that copper washer is going to hit the ground. Oh, come on. There we go. It was all about holding your mouth right. Oh. Alright, so let me see if this part is still a 14 or 15. Let's see here. This is a 14. And yes. So they stuck with the same size. I appreciate that. You know, you go and you get you a new part, and it ends up being a different size. And that usually sucks. But I got that bolt tightened down pretty good. I don't want to snap this head off and then have to try and fight to take that off. But another good reason of holding on to that. But I just need to make sure that this is not leaking. I don't believe that it is. I mean, of course, you've got that, but once you clean that up, it should be okay. It shouldn't be leaking. I'm going to go get me some carb cleaner, spray on there, wipe that down, and then monitor it for a little bit and make sure it's not leaking. But with the copper washers, the crush washers, usually that's supposed to seal it off. So I will be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Whoop, wrong way. So I was fighting to put these stupid little metal keepers in here. And this one over here was like way out here. See that gap? It was way pressed up against this piece on this side, and it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be just like it is now. But right now I'm tightening this up. Remember, again, this one is a size 17. This is a remanufactured Ford part instead of just a remanufactured aftermarket part. You never know what you're going to get when you get a remanufactured part. You could get remanufactured OEM, or someone could take a aftermarket piece up there, and I mean, a core is a core to them. So I lucked out and ended up with OEM. So come on, a little bit tighter. There we go. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our handy dandy rag. I snagged this from work. We usually have tons of these just laying around for whatever you need it for. So I'm gonna hit this banjo bolt, the back side of it, with a little bit of carb cleaner, just some cheapy little carb cleaner from Walmart. It was like $2, $3. You ever see those YouTube videos, or not YouTube, but well, yeah, I've seen YouTube shorts, and I've also seen it on Facebook, the reels, where you've got this one guy, he'll tap the bottom of this can, puncturing it, and he'll start just putting it on whatever on the vehicle, and it's titled "When the Shop Pays for the Carb Cleaner," and then versus how you just saw me spritz this on here, when you pay for the carb cleaner. Now, I've worked in shops before. You know, I used to do small engine repair. I mean, I can do it enough to get by, but I'm not doing that for a living. I mean, I have no problem doing it. It's just, it's not my forte. I don't find that fun or relaxing or anything like that. But I do not see any leaking. I don't know about you guys, but I'd call that a fix. So, and then it's not binding on that. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this back together. Everything's good. These are all new. These were greased up. Don't forget, pump your brakes. Get that air out of there. I am not doing the bleed brake on this. I'm not bleeding these out. That's kind of pointless. The pistons are completely compressed, so there's going to be like maybe a few air bubbles in there, but not enough to actually cause a problem. So I'm going to throw my tire back on here. We'll get on the road, test this thing, and see how that works. Be right back. Alright guys, so my ABS light went off. The pedal is kind of going to the floor, but it's stopping before it goes all the way to the floor. So, I mean, it's starting to tighten up a little bit. It's going to take, you know, there's two ways of doing it. If you don't want the spongy brake filling, if you're worried that you're going to plow into the back of someone, just simply take your little bleeder valve off. There's a little nipple on the side of your caliper. Just crack it loose and get the air out. I mean, there's tons of videos on how to do that. And as you can see, like, I mean, yeah, it's kind of going that way a little bit, which tells me all the air is over on this side. But the vibration, I do believe, is gone. I'm going to get up here on the highway. I'll be right back. I'm going to focus on the road, but I'm going to get up on the main highway and see if the vibration is really gone. I mean, these roads back here, these are county roads. This is a small county. They don't keep these roads up. I mean, for those of you that live back here, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's right before I started filming. I was wanting to start filming and show you guys the light going off, and it went off before I even pressed the play button. So I apologize about that. But yeah, I'm gonna get up here on the main highway, and I don't feel any vibration. And like I said, the ABS light was on because this caliper had locked this wheel up over here, and I mean, this thing was just scalding hot. You could have cooked an egg on it. That's how bad hot it was. But it's nice and cooled off now. If you ever have that happen, by the way, I do want to throw this out. If you ever have a caliper lock up on you, do not quench it. Don't pour water on it. Don't pour oil on it. Oh, common sense tells you not to pour oil on a caliper. You don't want, to slick up your rotors. But I've seen so many people, they freak out and they throw water on the caliper to try and quickly cool it off. Don't do that, because what you do is you essentially, you're forging. And when you quickly forge something, when you quickly quench something that is extremely hot, you run the risk of cracking it. I've seen so many blades get broken before you even get to put an edge on it, because they quench it with water. Actual people that forge use oil to quench with, not water. But yeah, let me get off of here and pay attention to what I'm doing, and I will be right back. Alright, so I'm up here on the main highway, and yes, the vibration is 100% gone. I am noticing that my foot is still going to the floor. It doesn't seem to be tightening up. So, of course, I work one more day tomorrow. So if it doesn't tighten up on the way to work, on the way back, then when I get off work tomorrow, since I'll finally be off, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and crack that bleeder valve open, and I'll have my wife help me. I'll just have her in the truck, and she can just push on the brake pedal, and we'll go ahead and get the rest of that air out of there. The easiest way to do that, hang on, let me slow down here. There we go. The easiest way to get the air out of your system is you start with the bleeder valve the furthest away from the master cylinder. So you start with your rear passenger, and then you go over to the rear driver, and then you come up to the passenger side, the front passenger, and then you come over to the driver's side, the front driver. And that's the best way to get the air out of the system, because it usually circulates that air, the air bubbles, air pocket, whatever you want to call it. It usually circulates. Geez, I can't talk. It circulates throughout the brake system, so that little bit of air that was introduced into the system, since I did remove the caliper and put a new one on here, that usually ends up at the back. I mean, you never know. So what you do is you just you're pushing all of the air out, starting with the back, and you work your way to the front. But anyway, guys, other than that, truck runs fine. Like I said, the vibration's gone. Because like I said, it felt like I had a flat tire. Like when you get a flat tire, it seems like the vehicle's struggling to move, because it's not level, and it's just bouncing you all over the place. I literally thought I had a flat. And I mean, with the way people don't secure their loads around here, you know, all kinds of sharp metal objects or just sharp objects in general end up on the side of the road. So, I mean, you pull over on the side of the road because you don't want to be, you know, talking on your phone going down the road, because, you know, that is a pretty hefty fine. And yes, I know when I make some of my videos, some people have commented saying, hey, you know, you're breaking the law, you know, filming. Not really. And the reason I say that is because I'm on the road by myself, and this is a county road, but this is a back road. And if I see someone, I know to get over. You know, I'm not going to be sitting here fully paying attention to my phone. I'm not looking at my phone at all. I'm looking at the road. So there's also that. A lot of people, they'll be sitting there paying attention to the road through their phone, and they end up having an accident. Because there is a slight delay, you know, like my finger's actually up before you actually see it go up on the camera. So there's that delay. So you think you see something walk out in front of you on your camera, and you go to hit the brakes, guess what? It's too late, because that's already been standing in front of your vehicle. But anyway, guys, this is going to be a really long video, so as always, thanks for watching. Later, Gators.
Finding out what country really means.